All right, good morning. Here we are, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and we got a sightseeing trip going on here. So we're headed on over to France today, and we picked these two airports here that I circled, and we're going to try to depart from one of these in the Cessna 172 over in Turin, and we're going to try to fly through the Alps here and pick one of these roads to follow through. So appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the love and support. We're going to get this thing going now. Going to exit out of Neofly. All right, so here we are, Cessna 172 over in France. And we are going to get everything going here. So we've got to remove some covers here. Gas tank. Not that. Don't want that. And the wheel lock, and we should be good to go. Oops. All right, let's see what this airport looks like here. And oh yeah, we got to get our nav map up. All right, so here we are over at Torino Airport. And I think departing from runway number 18 is probably going to be the best bet. And then we'll follow this road, or a set of roads, through here, go through the mountain range, and then we'll end up somewhere around here. Let's see if we can, where's our flight book here? This thing. All right, what is our flight plan here? All right, so LIMF. L. There we go. So we're going to set this as our departure. We're going to get rid of all this. And where are we headed here? LFLS. And we're going to set that as a destination. We're going to do runway number 10, or no, 27, and runway number 18. All right, and then we'll follow one of these roads out, probably this set. And then maybe we'll come up here by the lake. So if we add position, 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 and then we'll come up and follow this road back down. And then we'll come out of the Alps up here. That's fine. All right, so that's what we'll do. That's the plan here. So let's go ahead and get this thing up in the air and figure out what we're looking at here. Oops, got to move my coffee. All right, so we're going to head on out, make a left-hand turn, and taxi down to runway number 18. And go ahead and set 15 degrees of flaps. All right, that is a long runway. I was working on nav maps, almost ran off into the grass area there. All right, so we got one more turn off to pass, and then we'll be at runway number 18. We actually picked a pretty decent runway with the wind. Right now it's 8 knots of wind coming at our back going to the right. And we'll fix that exterior view in just a moment once we get down to the end of the runway here. So one little fact about this airport, it sits 958 feet above sea level. All right. So now we're coming up to runway number 18. All right, decent look at the tower there. We'll center line it. Get that exterior view. Let's go ahead and get that straightened out. All right, 10 degrees of flaps, not 15 apparently. Yeah, you got a little bit of the wind there. Using the rudder to counterbalance it. Airspeed is 60. There's runway number 18. We got liftoff. We're going to reduce flaps. Do a little flyby of the tower here.
Don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink.
There's a small metal tower.
Don't sink, 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 don't sink. Don't sink.
Zoom out just a little bit here. All right, we should be coming up to those sets of roads pretty soon. Oh, nice. There's a stadium. So, pretty decent city here. Go ahead and pass whatever stadium this is. Looks like that might be soccer or possibly football, depending on what you want to call it. Alright, so now we're going to have to make a hard right-hand turn here to pick up some of those roads. And we'll find the entryway into the Alps. That's another airport. But we got to make a harder right-hand turn than that. All right, I think that might be our entryway right up through here. Oh, wow, this is a longer flight than I was expecting. It's about 163 nautical miles. We'll see if we do the whole thing or not. Oh, goodness, I'm yawning. It is a long day. Alright, this road will pick up to the right here. Maybe we'll pick up a little bit of altitude because it looks like, yeah, this goes up to about 7,000 feet. So let's go ahead and start a climb. And it looks like right there is our entryway. So I'll dip down to get that. So that road is what we're going to be following, I think. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and get our heading straight ahead. Let's turn our altitude up to, that's good enough for now. We're going to get that and FLC. And now we can get a smooth flight going. All right, so that's the road that we're picking up. And we're gonna fly through the Alps. All right, so now that we got that going, we can go ahead and reduce our altitude a little bit here. All right, we'll do a target of 8,300. It does seem like the peak is about yeah, maybe about 7,300, give or take. But show you the map here. So we just departed from LIMF, and we're gonna follow this road up here. When it splits, we're gonna make a right-hand turn, go up towards this lake, and then follow the road back down through the exit of the Alps and land over in LFLS. So it should be a very scenic route here. We're currently at 3,300, climbing at a rate of 200 or now 150 per second. So we're gonna have to do a little more climbing than that. adjust our heading just a touch. Alright, so we are coming up through here now. And we just got to find that split where SS25 and SS24 split. Currently at 3,700. Thinking that split might be right up here. Put the wheel back, or the yoke. All right, 4,000, almost 4,100. Climb rate of 300 isn't too bad. Doesn't seem like it. We're stressing the engine out to try to climb. But I do think we're going to make it, though. Because it looks like... Here's the elevation down here. It looks like, because I did like a rough plot of the flight plan here, that this, which is about 6,000 feet above sea level, maybe 6,600 right here. It looks like it's some of the mountains, so the road might actually be lower. But as of now, it does look like we're going to run right into that mountain. But we can always circle around if we're not going to make it. Alright, so we are coming up to that split. So we're going to go up here, follow SS25, and we'll come up to that lake on the right hand side, and then we'll follow this road through as we navigate our way outside of the mountains. So coming up to 4,800. We will see if we make it. Does seem like the left-hand side would be an easier route. But we won't take that. Alright, so we are gonna navigate our way up through this mountain, hopefully. Alright, we are no longer climbing, which is probably not a good sign. Alright, now we're going at 150. Alright, the road wanders up here, and we should see the lake soon. But yeah, I am thinking that we are not going to make it. Oh, is that the lake? No. It's got to be bigger than that. Alright, we're going to have to spin around here. We're actually going to turn autopilot off. Take full control. Alright, I don't think we're going to have to spin around. I think we can make this. Famous last words.
500.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be close. Got some power lines. Alright, the road does make a pretty sharp turn here to the right. We're stalling. So I think that's a dam.
500.
Alright, we're gonna follow. Yeah, I see the road up there. So the road wanders and winds up through here. And then this is that dam. Man, we were cutting it close.
Stall.
All right. We made it. We're going to try to keep climbing though, because I don't think the mountainous terrain is over just yet. We just have this flat little area here that we can deal with. But beautiful picture there. Alright, we're gonna have to exit off here to the right. This is where the road goes. We are gonna have to circle around this mountain over here because we don't have enough elevation still. We're at 6,700. Had to take full control because autopilot was not climbing at a rate that was safe. But we also did have to stall, like almost come close to stalling a few times. Alright, let's get our heading straight up. We'll turn autopilot on again and go from here. So we're at an airspeed of 100. And then the road is going to zigzag through this town and make a left-hand turn here. And then it's going to go basically around this mountain here. So we're going to follow the road up through this little valley. Alright, so not too bad here. Do you think we made it through the worst? Nice, there's an airport right here. LFKD. Ah, I see it. It's like a little grass runway. Guessing that's it right here. That would have been a neat little airport to land at. We're gonna grab this for a thumbnail for later. All right, I'm gonna try to. All right, so we're landing in runway number 27, which has a heading of 270 degrees. All right, so the wind's currently at 3 knots coming right into our face. Let's see about the airport that we're landing in. So that sits at 1,200 feet with a runway length of 10,000, so a very long runway. Alright, so the road seems to make its way up through the valley over here. But I think we have enough to clear over because it's going to basically go up and around. So I think we might take a little bit of a shortcut and fly through and over the mountains here. Yeah, so the road goes up here and up and around. So we're just gonna fly straight through here. Alright, I am thinking that once we pass this ridge right here, we're gonna have to start a pretty decent descent. Go ahead and adjust our altitude here. 2300 might be good. Alright, coming up a little close to this, but I do think what we gotta do is make a small adjustment to the right here and cut through right here. Don't think we have to raise our elevation at all. I don't know. Cutting super close. Small heading adjustment. Cut right through here. I think we got that. Yeah, it's good enough. That's plenty of room. Say that's a good thumbnail. So we made it, ladies and gentlemen. Right through that little cut through on the mountain. All right, with that, we can get a little more lined up with the runway. We're going to hit FLC mode, reduce our throttle, come down a little bit. Start our descent. I think this little green area is where we're looking for. We're going to do altitude hold, increase throttle. Resume our descent. We're down to 6,000. Again, airport is about 1,200, maybe close to 1,300 feet. And it sits at 268 degrees, and we're going to be landing over in runway number 27. That might be the airport right there. Or no, I think the airport's actually straight ahead. We're a 10,000 foot runway. I don't see it. I wonder if we have to go over this mountain. Oh no, I'm thinking we do. All right, so let's do altitude hold. We're going to increase our throttle. I think we have to go over this mountain first. And that sits at about 5,000. All right, worst case scenario, we can go around. But I think we'll make it. Yeah, we're just going to turn autopilot off, take full control. See if we can make it up and over this mountain. I'm thinking not so much. Alright, let's go ahead. Zigzag around this way a little bit. Let's see if we can go. We're up to 5,000. Airspeed's dropping. Still not going to make it. Up to 5,600. Yeah, we're going to make it down here. We're going to make it one way or the other. That was pretty close though. Alright, so airport is straight ahead. But we got another little mountain to kind of conquer. Probably the smart bet would be let's cut the throttle a little bit. We're gonna pick this little area right here, and then we'll make a little right-hand turn so that we don't come into the airport too steep. All right, we're 20 miles out from the airport. 18 miles. Burn the trees again. And there's that steep cliff. Burn those trees. 17 miles. We're going to cut throttle. Pick up some speed down here. Wind our way around this side. All right, altitude's good, about 26. We're 14 miles out. All right, 12 miles, no runway in sight just yet. But I think I got runway in sight. All right, winds picked up about 6 knots, right to left. All right, 6.1 miles. When we get to probably about 3, that's when we'll do flaps. Yeah, go ahead and get some flaps going, 10 degrees. Line up with the runway. Reduce our throttle. Got plenty of room. I'm not really trying to land at the threshold. Nice smooth landing here. Flare up. There we go. We got all wheels on ground. Now we'll cut through the grass here. Head on over to the tower. All right, we'll go ahead and park over here, close to the parking lot. We'll set our parking brake, go to the exterior here. All right, so appreciate you tuning in. We had some close calls there with the mountains, but everything worked out. So we're gonna go ahead and shut everything down here and call that a wrap. So that was our little 3-2-1 live session. So appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you on the next one, which will be a Neo Fly.